Here are 5 facts about the Hyuuga Clan you probably didn't know. Number 1. The Hyuuga Clan's fighting style, the Gentle Fist, was based off a real martial art known as Bagwajang, or 8 trigram palm, which is one of the 3 main martial arts of the Wudang school. The circle motions, much like those shown in Naruto, are an important factor in the art. Not only does Bagwajang make up the Hyuuga line's main fighting style, but it's also seen in Avatar: The Last Airbender in airbending. The style uses mostly open palms and is mixed with dimma, so that's the use of pressure points on the body. So the first helps the user generate speed using circular motions, while the other helps to take down opponents. Number 2, the Hyuuga Clan's eyes are based off real people, specifically the Hibakusha. Baku being bomb, like the bomb in Bakugo, and sha meaning person. So Hibakusha meaning an atomic bomb victim or bomb victim. So this photo is entitled Blind Girl from a book called Brighter Than 1,000 Suns, because these are the eyes that witnessed an atomic bomb. So I found some further information on this image. So whether the social media posts and also some of the other sources that I found are true or not, I feel like this particular article made it a little bit more clearer as to the origin of this Hinata image, or the blind girl. So this image purportedly shows the eyes that saw a nuke. It's a picture of a girl who was blinded by the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima in the closing days of World War II, and it's frequently shared on social media sites. Although the image is a real photograph, the title commonly applied to it may be misleading. The photograph comes from a set of pictures taken by Scandinavian photographer Christer Strömholm in Japan in 1961 and 1963, 16 to 18 years after a nuclear bomb was detonated over the city of Hiroshima. Now, it's not really possible to verify the age of the woman shown in the photograph, and she appears way too young to have witnessed the nuclear blast firsthand. And the caption of the picture on Stromholm's official website identifies her simply as the blind girl. So whether she was blinded as a consequence of Hiroshima and seeing the atomic bomb, or if it was a consequence from after the blast, like from radiation, for example, it might be the case that the pictured girl's blindness was not directly caused by her exposure to the nuclear blast itself, but by something that took place much later in the aftermath of that blast, including a congenital disorder in a child born to survivors who were exposed to radiation. Kishimoto grew up in Okayama, which is only about a 2-hour drive away from Hiroshima. So in an interview, he said, "War is a difficult theme to write about. I grew up in Okayama, which is right next to Hiroshima. My grandparents went through the terror of war, and I know from their stories that the war was built upon people's grudges. But you can't just look at the current state and criticize it as being simply wrong, because every little thing in our history causes the build-up towards war. And when it reaches its limit, it breaks out. So even in the manga, it wouldn't be believable unless I carefully elaborate on the war's background." So this is why you see things like his reasoning for each of the members of the Akatsuki is a different reason of why people go to war, is what they represent. So he continuing the quote, "As my grandfather taught me, I believe that war is never the right answer, but I also understand that there will always be war. I feel lucky that I grew up in a generation that didn't experience war. However, there are certain things that only my generation can tell in a story, and I can tell it from my own perspective. Even though it's fiction, I want to make people feel like that there is still hope." So this is why many fan theories about Hinata concluded that 1, because Kishimoto grew up near Hiroshima, he was inspired by the Hibakusha, or the bomb victims, and because he wanted to make people feel hope, he gave the Hyuuga Clan, or in other words these victims, the best eyesight in the show. So when I'm talking about eyesight, I mean the ability to see long distance, because in real life they can't see at all. And the Sharingan is good at, like, detecting or seeing through different abilities. It's not necessarily good at seeing long distance. So up until the Osutsuki were introduced, the Byakugan was literally the best long-range vision in the show. Interesting fact number 3, the Hyuuga means a place in the sun. The clan's name is likely related to the ability to reveal things with their Byakugan, as the sun's light also reveals things. So Masashi Kishimoto often gives importance to the names and clan symbols of characters. So now, given that Kishimoto grew up next to the blind girl who saw something brighter than 1,000 suns, could this be a coincidence? And, you know, Hyuuga equals the place in the sun and their eyes, you know. Now, Hinata also, fact number 4, means sunflower, or towards the sun or a sunny place. A further coincidence, perhaps. This is honestly getting too much of a coincidence, isn't it? And she's another character whose name doesn't initially appear to fit her well. Like, she looked like just a regular civilian, and she looked really shy, and she wasn't really built for this whole shinobi world. She was not going to be the person who inherited, you know, the whole family importance and lineage and whatnot. It was actually going to go to the sister. However, Hinata works her way up and becomes an incredibly strong and capable kunoichi who earns her place in the sun, being besides Naruto. So this kind of fits into what Kishimoto said about he wanted to make people feel like there is still hope. Fact number 5. Masashi Kishimoto actually confirmed that he didn't plan Naruto and Hinata's love from the very start. In an interview, he initially told his wife that Sakura was based off of her, and it almost ruined his marriage. He said, "I almost caused a rift in my own household too, because my wife was very upset also that Naruto didn't get together with Sakura. In fact, she complained quite vehemently to me," he explained. "I tried to defuse the situation by reassuring my wife that she was actually the model for Hinata." Lastly, just to make matters worse, apparently Oda even said to Kishimoto that his wife looks like Sakura. So you can imagine the problems that Kishimoto faced in his household. Now, here's some bonus other facts. Hinata only failed one subject at the academy, according to the Hyono Sho, also known as the Naruto Secret Scroll of Soldiers, or the official data book. And Hinata was an above average student. She earned A's in Taijutsu, Cooperation, Classroom Attitude, and B's in Ninjutsu and Genjutsu. There's only one subject that she, unsurprisingly, scored an F in, and that was positivity. And in the official data books, it says that she only completed 33 missions.